Right, so the Black Ops Cold War Alpha just ended about an hour ago, and we wanted to give our fresh thoughts on the Alpha so far and what we think of the game in its current stance. So, like, lads, I'm going to ask you to give a bit of a overall opinion on what you think of the Alpha that you played. Like, what did you think of hopping into the game and just the overall experience? Like, what did you think of it when you played it?
May I go first?
Go ahead.
My first immediate thought was it felt a lot like Modern Warfare, just look and style wise. I should preface this by saying that all of us, I think, it kind of struggled a bit because we played this on console because it was the PS4 Alpha. We're primarily PC, so I tried not to let that taint things too much, like graphics or like it definitely felt sluggish. But I think it felt sluggish, but it felt more fast paced than Modern Warfare. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But my first impression was it's very similar to Modern Warfare, but more arcadey, more of a return to.
That's Treyarch's though. That's their usual kind of, like, their style is a lot more arcadey. Yeah.
That's how I felt. Anyways, that was my first impression. Just like very fresh first match.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah. Well, Corey, then, like, what did you think like when you first boot up the game and hopped into your first match? Then, what was your first initial first impression of it? Then.
First off, it is, and I will stress this, it is on the Modern Warfare engine. So all those little Timmies out there complaining, the Modern Warfare engine is the best engine we have.
It's true.
For COD. Okay, so just quit complaining. You asked for a change in engines. You got a change in engines. We have it. Enjoy it. I can't stress this enough. The menu UI is very Modern Warfare.
Oh yeah.
So it looks like they're going down that kind of route. But yeah, as Adam said, it's probably the most arcadey type of COD we've gotten in a long while. I'd say probably since BO3. I didn't think BO4 was arcadey at all. My impressions of it though was it was a very good alpha, and this is an alpha.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't stress this enough. It was very, very, very good for an alpha.
Yeah.
Very fun to play.
And that is the video. The video is an impression of the alpha, obviously, not the full game, because that's impossible to give off an alpha.
And even with that, it's given us actually, like, I haven't got Mel's opinion yet, but it seems like a more or less general kind of a positive, impression on the game as a whole. Like, as Corey said, it is an alpha, and it is great.
It's not like it will be a completely different game when it comes out, but a lot of things will change.
Oh, 100%. I don't think if anyone sits now after playing it and thinks, oh, this is going to be what it's like when it comes beta, you've got it all wrong. You got to understand that, like, we've all played alpha games. We played games early development, and to see when you start playing a game from early development, one of the big things actually would be me, you, and Adam there.
Yeah,
we played Tarkov very early coming into it. And since we started playing Tarkov over a year ago, the amount of changes that game's got in the early access build to now is just incredible. And COD, like Tony Flame, the multiplayer head, he has already come out on Twitter and said there is tons of changes for the beta. So just take it with a grain of salt on what we say when it comes, because it is an alpha build, and you can't expect it to be the same when you hop back onto a beta. The AK-74U, very, very good in this alpha build, might not be the same when it comes to the beta. So
we already know it's not, because
it's already nerfed.
Tony Flame's Twitter account.
Tony Flame.
He's the lead developer. I don't know what he works at Treyarch. He's been very vocal about what's been changed. So if your
guy brings the fire,
his Twitter,
he's the fire to the flame.
Just move on there, Mel. Like, what when you hopped up into the game and you gave it a go, what did you actually think straight away? Like, what was your first impression of it?
Yeah, I thought it was class. But as Corey said, like, they are going down that Modern Warfare route of like the menus, the create a class, even the gunsmith, like, is nearly identical.
It's but I don't think that's actually a bad thing. Like, I think it's really good. Like,
yeah. Well, and the way you move, like, look and feel, like, I know it's on the Modern Warfare engine, but kind of playing it, like, I don't know, like, control wise, I don't know, I kind of felt like I was back in the day playing Black Ops 1. for some reason.
More arcade.
More arcadey, yeah.
Well then,
Modern Warfare has like that weight to it where you feel like a soldier running around.
I
with
feel like rolling around, but this was kind of more
floaty and
controlled and kind of clunky, you know.
Yeah. Well then,
I love it, kind of.
Well, let's talk about the movement then a bit, because they said at the reveal that they changed the sprinting and jumping and stuff, more realistic jumping, and you get this boost when you sprint, and obviously tactical sprint hasn't returned.
Yeah, that's one
so
gone.
Yeah, so it's a whole different game. Like, in my opinion, like when I started up the game and I started sprinting around the map, I felt like I was sluggish, like as Mel said, or I was running really slow. But I think I am just so used to Modern Warfare's tactical sprint and zooming around the map, because
and the fact that you've been playing Modern Warfare for so long,
we're
kind of in that mindset
exactly,
of jump crouch, but you know.
I will say at first I felt more sluggish, and then more after about 5 or 6 hours of playing it, I think that was the fact I was playing with a controller and it was 60 FOV, which I'm not used to. So it looked like, because when you have maxed FOV, you have this illusion that you're running faster than you actually are, because you see more space passing you by as you run. So I think if we get to PC, because after a while, after 5 or 6 hours, it felt more fast-paced than Modern Warfare. And when we talk about movement, like three of the biggest things is tactical sprint's gone, mountain is gone, and doors are gone. And to me, tactical sprint, I didn't really have an opinion on. I didn't love it or hate it. Mountain, as much as I used it constantly, I don't think it had a place in Call of Duty. And doors, I didn't like at all. So I'm glad that Treyarch stuck to creating line of sights that they want. Like their map design is very orientated around, we want you to fight this way, and like it's not like, oh, this door might open or someone might be peeking through this door. I'm glad that's gone. Like the movement felt more fast paced to me after I got used to playing on console.
And I think it seems more fast paced as well, because when you take out things like mountain, or you take out the doors and stuff like that, and as well as like with their map design as well, there's not as much running through a room and checking all corners, checking the doors, see if they're open or closed. You're just running through a room because there's one entrance and there's one exit, and I don't see anyone in front of me, so I can run through this room. Whereas in Modern Warfare, you'd be going in and your door would be open, so you'd be thinking, is there someone there? Did he open the door? You'd check, or you'd run around the room and you'd be expecting to see someone up on a rock, mounted. You can see the side of his helmet, and that's it. And you have to be careful where you're not worried of that, so you just sprint through the room, and it is more fast paced in that sense. Then I mean, sliding's back. I think that
I'm happy with that. I think sliding now has, I know in the older CODs it often switched between dolphin diving and sliding, and then obviously we had the advanced movement ones like the jetpacks and boosts and stuff like that. But I think sliding has become kind of a staple.
But I like now you can.
Modern Warfare, I like sliding
like
a lot.
It's like constantly sliding. Like that was a big thing I kind of hated in Modern Warfare. Like you're constantly trying to hit someone and just going jump slide, and just like
slide cancel.
Yeah.
Whereas it's now
tone that down.
You don't quite have the Black Ops 3 G slide. You can do it once, but you can't do it as much as you could in Black Ops 3, which, I mean, it makes sense. I don't think it was ever designed to be, because I'm pretty sure at one point in Black Ops 3 they patched it, and then there was so much uproar that they reversed it and put it back in. But for things like zombies, I think G slide is fine because it's zombies. So I hope in zombies you can, maybe if you get stamina, but we're not talking about zombies.
Maybe no.
Sliding, I do like. I think
it's a welcome return. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let's move on to the classes system. So the creative class, first of all, they didn't bring back the pick 10 system from
majority.
Basically majority of them. That I think is a good thing, maybe. Like the pick 10 system at the start when it came out was it feels limiting. Eventually you got around building classes around certain things, but it felt like you can't use what you want to use. You might be cutting. You have to swap out equipment for whatever.
Sacrifices.
So and I think it's great. It's a good idea to not bring it back, because Modern Warfare didn't have it. So it wasn't really not much of a difference.
I think like the thing about like pick 10 was great because it definitely created this meta in the game of a certain loadout, but I think having like they said in the multiplayer reveal, they just wanted to give you that choice of you're going to have a primary with at least 5 attachments, secondary, the lethal, your secondary, always forget tactical, your and 3 part, like you have everything. But then when you bring things in like the wild cards or
wild cards are back. Yeah,
I love the choice, that the fact that you can maybe have 6 perks, or was it 8 weapon attachments?
You use all the weapon attachments on your primary. Yeah.
And now I think Overkill is now a great card.
It's called Lawbreaker or something. I think. Yeah, you can have like any weapon, any slot. Yeah.
Which I don't mind. I do agree with that. That I like that being moved to a card and no longer a perk.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I think the last time it was, I'm not 100% sure of this, but Black Ops 3 definitely had it as a wild card. Black Ops 2 definitely had it as a wild card. I think Modern Warfare had, I think Black Ops 4 might have had it as a perk. You can't think off the top of my head.
No,
Going back to your pick 10. Going back to your pick 10, I feel like when it came out, it kind of revolutionized multiplayer to the point where it's like, okay, now you have to think, what do you want to sacrifice for what you want? Do you want more perks over what attachments? I feel like, and when it came out in Black Ops 2, it was a very, very much needed change. It really changed Black Ops 2. And Black Ops 2, I know these lads have their different like multiplayers that they enjoy playing, but Black Ops 2 for me was, this is my opinion, was the best multiplayer to play.
Yeah.
In this game, I don't think it would suit it. This game, I think the current creative class thing they have, okay, you have your gun, you have a stun and a nade.
Yeah.
They're there all the time. You have 3 perks all the time. Now, what do you want? Do you want 6 perks? Do you want danger close? Do you want to have 2 stuns, 2 nades? Do you want to have all attachments on your weapons? Do you want to run over the class? That's perfect. I do think with the kind of having this kind of non-pick 10, similar to Modern Warfare style creative class system, you get a lot more options and a lot more classes. You don't have these mainstream meta classes now. You have different people run around with different guns. You don't always run in, like when you play Modern Warfare multiplayer, you'll always see people using an M8 or an M4, MP5s, all the same class setup. So it kind of opens up that kind of door of creativity. It's like, okay, we only got a handful of guns as well, by the way, in the alpha.
That's it. Yeah,
like there's going to be more.
Much more.
And there's more attachments as well. So it's kind of like you don't know what's going to happen.
The combinations are just insane. One thing that came back that I'm not sure how to feel about is shotguns as secondaries. So you don't need the overkill to run with a trench gun on your back pocket.
I was worried about that when I saw in the multiplayer reveal that it was, because at first I remember everyone thought that the quartermaster perk was overkill, and that's what. But then people realized people weren't running that perk, and also
no, it's just shotguns are secondaries, aren't they?
And I was worried because Modern Warfare has such a bad shotgun meta right now. And the 725 when it first came out, and like shotguns in a lot of CODs have had reputations of being overpowered. But in this game, I only ran a shotgun on one class. That was my sniper class. I had this silent Spas 12 as my secondary, and that's one you can spam out the arse. But they're a lot weaker than they were. There's definitely not. Like if I go up against someone with a Spas 12 and they have an AR or something, I'm gonna lose that fight. I think 9 times out of 10. Like it's definitely a lot weaker than past games.
Yeah, like with the origin in Modern Warfare, as you said, you just, as long as you look at someone and hold the right trigger, you're bound to get a kill. More than likely.
That whole Warzone there at the moment is just, it's not fun to play. It's not fun. But like even when you talk about shotguns, this isn't the first time shotguns have been secondary.
No, not the first time.
Like I think Black Ops 4 was like they had it as secondary as well. Look at the end of the day, it's like fair. Would you rather have a shotgun as a primary and they have to have a certain like damage output? They have to buff it so that people can actually run it, or would you rather have it as a secondary where you're kind of like, well, your pistol's not always going to win your gunfights.
Yeah, I think
your launcher's not always going to win your gunfights. Either is your shotgun. I've ran it a few times with my commando class, and up close it still takes 3 shots at the Spas 12 to kill someone. That is fine.
That's fine.
Because if you have the headshot multiplier in this game is so high, if you aim for their head once when someone has a shotgun and you just shoot them in the head, like you're probably going to end up winning a gunfight. Like, so I think the way to have it is perfect. I don't think there's any...
No, and I think as well, like the fact that they have shotguns as a secondary, as you were saying, Corey, if they put it as a primary, they'd have to buff it. So I think the fact that it's a secondary, it feels like they are secondary weapons and not like a primary weapon in your secondary slot, like back in the days of was it Black Ops? One of the Black Ops.
Warzone now. Or not even more. Sorry, Modern Warfare came out this year. Like as Mel said, the 725s at the start of the year.
Yeah,
boys were getting literally sniped across the map.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't want that.
No.
So you having them as a secondary doesn't negate the class itself. Doesn't negate shotguns. It just means that the multiplayer team are like, okay, we do not have to make these viable for people to run, because most people are going to run a pistol. I ran the 3-round burst pistol. That was a machine.
Yeah.
But am I always going to be running it in games? No. Well, I'll pull it out when I'm in a dire need of a gun. But like it's like that thing. It's a secondary. It's not going to impact the match too much. The amount of times I've been killed this weekend with a secondary shotgun, I wouldn't even crack the top. Like I wouldn't even say I died 20 times with a shotgun, because not a lot of people run it. So it's
that's the thing. One thing that lends itself to the idea that they're definitely not as strong as past CODs is the fact that I barely ran into people using shotguns. Very rarely. And the majority of the time it was someone sniping at the back of the map, perched up in the building somewhere. Like
I suppose now with maps as well getting a lot bigger. Like you know, you can't really be...
Definitely, I don't think
they do feel
ever ran into a shotgun on the combined...
It's kind of like a up-close moment.
Exactly.
Like,
the shotguns
for half the gunfights are having, it's at quite a distance. Like.
Exactly, and shotguns are made now... Like, their secondary weapon is meant to be a backup, like, and it actually feels like it is, because, as you were saying, a sniper might have it as his secondary weapon for when someone runs up on him, or if someone's in a gunfight and they run out of ammo, they'll switch to the shotgun to finish off the person. You know, they feel more like a secondary now. Yeah, but
because if you're playing, like, for example, playing that Miami map, and all you had was a primary shotgun, like, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's much better, I think, especially with the map design, as you were saying, to have them as secondaries. But on the topic of weapons there and guns, how do you feel about the time to kill in this game? Like compared to Modern Warfare, for example, it seems
I think
it's
a little bit
better. Yeah, I think so as well.
Probably one of the highlights of the alpha so far for me, because I love fast time to kills, and maybe that's because the past year or so I've been playing games like Siege and Tarkov and DayZ and whatever else, you know, where it's one shot to the head. I like that. Yeah. But those games have a place in mil-sim type of games, and Modern Warfare was more realistic. But like, COD has always been an arcade shooter to me. I want it to be fast-paced and arcadey and stuff. But I didn't like Black Ops 4's time to kill, where it was like 150 health and you had the stim things. I feel like this, right in between the two of them, slightly slower than Black Ops 4, but slightly faster than Modern Warfare, I thought was perfect, especially using like SMGs, because in Modern Warfare, like up close, it felt like 3 bullets with an SMG. With an MP5 you can melt people, but in this, still put up a decent fight, but it definitely has a slightly increased TTK, and I do like it a lot more.
Yeah, I like the TTK. Like I've been running around, like I must say now, my first game, you know, because I'm used to Modern Warfare, you know, I was shooting people and I was like expecting them to die, if they didn't, or they died too soon, and I was like, oh, they're dead, you know. But I got used to it after a couple of games, and you know, it does feel a lot better. Like, and I think a big thing that helps is like they reintroduced the health bars from like Black Ops 4, for example, where, you know, you look at someone and if you get them down to 20% health, you know that you can sprint around that corner and hip fire and they're going to die because they're low on health. You know, whereas you could get a couple hit markers in Modern Warfare, for example, and you've no idea. So you turn the corner and you don't put 5 more bullets into them and they just kill you. You know,
I know health bars is somewhat of a polarizing thing for some people, but the alpha and obviously the full game does have the option to turn them off, which is nice because they're catering for both players. But yeah, personally, I like that was one thing I really liked about Black Ops 4. As again, I saw the people who are against it, I saw use the argument that it looks cheap or looks arcadey, but I'm like, but that's what the game is. It's meant to be an arcade shooter. Yeah, it's not arcadey as like fucking Quake or Doom or stuff like that. But it's still arcadey enough to the point where Yeah, I want to see a health bar and know how much damage I'm doing, and it's not that distracting at all.
No,
They're
it's
very,
It's not. It's a tiny white bar. Like it's not in your face.
yeah. I think it has
Like Halo going. Whoop, whoop.
yeah, it's great. I really like the health bars.
No, yeah, I'm glad they brought it back. Like, and like on the topic of like UI there, like the whole UI in general, like what did you think of, you know, the way like every COD has a different set of UI where it shows your ammo and the score and stuff
I
like
thought
that.
it was very clean.
That's what I was going to say. It's
There's
very
not-
clean. Yeah, it's not congested. There's not like
Kind
a lot of stuff.
transparent as well.
Yeah.
Like so, it's not
yeah.
taking up chunks of your screen. Like in Black Ops 4, they had that whole like ultimate thing and like your stims. And
Yeah.
that was a big, you know, chunk in the middle of your screen taking over. Like.
Yeah, that was a bit crazy. Now, what do you think, Corey?
Again,
'Cause
we're going right. Okay, so we're going off of just based off the alpha.
the alpha, of course, everything's subject to change. Yeah.
No, I know that, but this definitely isn't the UI they're going to use in the game.
Yeah, it's
This
probably
is a placeholder
yeah.
UI. For a placeholder UI, it's probably.
Do you think it's going to change that much?
I
I
do,
don't
yeah. I
think-
think it will change. I think not as much as people think it will. I think they'll just add. You know, there's someone was saying on Reddit. If you look at the ammo count, there's like this kind of brush stroke behind it.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's very, very see-through. And people just think, well, one thing that might change on that is just, and this is technically a change, make it darker. So it's easier to
Yeah.
see your ammo,
I
things
mean,
like that.
little things.
I
yeah.
think they need to, and I really do. And this one thing that really did irk me at the weekend, they need to change how it's really small, but your specialists, like your special deployment thing, like your SAM
Oh,
turrets
like
and
the
all that,
field
the
upgrades,
very
yeah.
small circle on the right of the screen, it's too small that I can't see how fast I'm charging it.
Right.
Yeah, I
when I
never
get
what you mean.
I might do. I had that as when no.
And it doesn't tell you when you get it either. You see, one thing I did like about Modern Warfare is when you got
Pretty sure it did.
Yeah, it does come up. It comes press. It goes field
Cell
equipment
one.
not ready. Press cell one. And the only reason I know that is because I never, like you said, it was so small in the
Yeah.
bottom right. I never looked at it. The only time I knew is when I got that notification on screen. But it's definitely there.
I mean,
percent
yeah,
seeing it.
the notifications there, okay, but most of the times you could be in gunfights, you know, probably
Yeah,
getting
you
2 or
won't
3
notice it.
pieces and you won't notice it. If they didn't, like they did it with Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. I know in Black Ops 4 it had a big kind of F off massive circle, but even if when they complete when it does, it gets charged up. Just have a little like kind of effect going, like a lighting effect that just like circle goes around, it goes orange. You kind of know visually if you're like looking at the screen, it's there, done. Even if you miss the message that pops up, you look down on your ammo, you look down at your nades, it's glowing orange to know it's
Yeah.
ready to be used. Instead of, I don't think it was glowing at all. I don't know. The UI, I don't think they need to change the UI. If they do, they'll probably just make a few things bigger. I think
Yeah.
it was nice. I
No,
mean,
yeah.
the whole UI in the game is very clean. So
Yeah, like as
to
Mel
stick with
said,
that,
yeah,
it's not
very-
really a big.
exactly.
I understand why it's not like glowing orange and stuff, because with the glowing orange and stuff, it obviously matched Black Ops 4 because it ran with the original color scheme of. Because when you look at the HUD in Cold War, like you were saying, the brushstroke behind the ammo, it's like that black marker
Yeah, it's kind of like that Black Ops 1.
they put over like CIA documents and stuff. So it
Deck.
matches the game aesthetically. But yeah, no, I like
Maybe just give it a little white glow then, like or something.
yeah, like an outline or something.
Yeah, go of course go with the color scheme that they have going, but like just give it a little effect or something. I think they don't need to change it as much. Maybe make certain things bigger, enlarge certain like photos and stuff like that. And it's fine, but I think overall it's
I thought it was great. I thought
yeah.
I wanted to change with that. And one thing I really like returning was the compass, because
Yeah.
I used that more than I thought. I know like it made more sense in Modern Warfare because there wasn't a mini map at first, so you can
Yeah, I remember that.
But I like having, even for just things as small as giving your friends call outs or
Just
something,
general call out.
it's handy to have that compass there. Like
And of course,
I was even using it without even realizing the compass, like
Yeah.
for callouts. Like I'm so used to it always being there now for battle royales.
yeah, like
Yeah.
from Warzone.
and when you don't have
And
things
then
pinging
I
from
was
Warzone, it's
giving you a call out in a game, and I was saying, "Oh, he's like 84," and I was like, "Oh, there's a compass in the game." That's like,
I'm glad they didn't take it away.
Yeah. Speaking of like Warzone and game modes and stuff, like what did you? So obviously, TDM's back, kill confirmed, domination, hardpoint is back, and they play pretty well on the maps that we've played on. But this new combined arms game mode now, very similar to Ground War, right? Especially 5-point domination, 12v12. It's what did you think when you played it, obviously? So what did you think of the combined arms? Because to me, it's essentially ground war. Like, it's very hard to pick it apart from ground war.
Yeah, I thought it was ground war, but the two maps you got, they're small.
They seem smaller,
a lot
yeah.
smaller than ground war.
How much was ground war in Modern Warfare?
It was more than 12v12, I think.
24,
And I
wasn't it?
think Modern Warfare was a bit too much. It was
Wait,
too big.
it was like Battlefield, but what was the
Yeah.
player count for ground war?
20v20.
Yeah,
2020.
yeah.
So
it was much
yeah.
bigger map. Like, they had helicopters and everything. Like, it was very like Battlefield. So
Yeah.
but I know what you mean. Like, it was it was so close to the only thing we could compare it to was ground war,
Yeah.
because it was these bigger, large scale maps, which every single one of them had multiple vehicles on them. Maybe not as much as like choppers and stuff, but
No,
one of
no.
them has a tank on it,
Tanks,
which I
Yeah.
hated, but apparently
I never actually teased it.
well, they're nerfed already, apparently, but they were annoying. But yeah, no, I think it was fun. I love the Armada map. I think that is such.
Armada was sick.
Yeah.
I love. I don't care whether it's Infinity Ward or Treyarch, but when they take risks like that and experiment with maps, like weird ideas like that, I love that. Like, yeah, the boats with the turrets can be annoying, but I think that's a very fun, well-designed map. And like, I wouldn't even mind. I was saying before, maybe just have the middle map as a 6v6 or something.
It
like,
probably worked, because if you think, as I said to you there, if you think of Wet Work back in COD 4, it was a ship.
it was just a ship,
roughly the
yeah.
same size,
You can
and-
do something like that.
Yeah.
That's a perfect 3-lane as well.
Yeah, like I
That's-
really
yeah.
like this snow map. I didn't like that much. It felt almost too big. But it wasn't that.
It
huge.
had
It's just
it had a
so-
big no man's land.
Yeah, it was so much open space that it was just all it really was snipers just crouching in bushes and the bank
Yeah.
with snow, and then there was tanks which just picked you apart because there was
Yeah.
nowhere to really hide. I only played that map, I'd say Sorry, I had some-
Gun down.
Yeah, the tank came in the window there. No, but I only played that map 3 times total, and it was, I don't know, I didn't have as much fun as I had on Armada any of the times I played that one. But I am excited to see the other maps, especially the forest one that we saw on the multiplayer reveal with the dirt bikes and stuff. That
Yeah.
I think
That looks
Like-
really good.
It's gonna be very good. I'm looking forward to that.
I like Battlefield 3, so
Yeah. Now,
it's a fun game, but definitely not gonna be like, I'm still gonna play the 6v6 stuff primarily, but that's fun for when you're not really kind of
In the mood to.
Exactly, yeah.
mood. You're just kind of want to get kills and just play a fun game. It's fun.
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. No, like, the only thing I'd say about maps and stuff is, like, I found, like, I think Miami is, I think you were saying, Adam, is a bit too big for 6v6. Like, you're kind of,
That was my complaint with it as well.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
like,
a weird one because it feels too big for.
You run around the whole
6v6,
map and you'll run into like 2 people.
But at the same time, it feels too small for 12v12. I
Yeah.
was saying like something like 8v8 or 9v9.
Yeah.
I feel like would suit it, but
Probably,
you
yeah.
can't have a game mode just for one map. Miami was the one standout of the 6v6 maps. I thought all of them were great, but that one was the one that just something felt like the lighting was really dark.
it was
It
dark,
was
yeah.
fun in some parts. The aesthetic, it looks gorgeous, all the neon lights and the puddles and stuff. But like, yeah, that one felt weird. It just didn't feel
At
like
least you can jump on a diving board.
True, there's that Easter egg diving board, so that bumped it up half a point. But
Yeah.
that was a weird 6v6.
Yeah, I mean, that might change now in the future. Like, as we get the full release of the game, we play it more. You know, it happens with all CODs. Like, people, you know, like, for example, Crash in COD 4. You know, they find a building that everyone rushes to and everyone goes to, and you can expect to find people around this area of the map or around this, and it might be a little bit better than just freely running around looking for enemies. You know, you might know the hotspots, but as you said, it does feel a bit too big for 6.6 at the moment. But Moscow and Satellite, like, they both feel just about right. Like, because on Satellite, I think the problem with Miami is there's not a clear, like, center point, if that makes sense. Like, Moscow, it's where B point is in domination, or there's like 4 entrances into the area. Satellite, it's obviously direct Satellite itself. You have teams coming from both sides. But in Miami, there's kind of there's a building and then there's a road, but people come from all over, and there's the beach, and maybe that's why you don't run into people so much.
Miami feels very cluttered in the middle, like it's just turned over cars and bushes and stuff, so everyone kind of spreads out to the edges of the map. Yeah, like you were saying, at the beach and in the hotels and stuff, so it creates this, I don't know, like just dull match experience where it's kind of just people running around looking for each other and then you die, and it's just not as like Satellite was great because it's the only problem I had with that map is on certain modes the spawns, like I've had multiple occasions where like the whole team would pop in front of me, but I think that's
more
more
like domination.
So open, there's not really any cover. There's some small caves, but that's about it.
And the sand dunes.
It was a really fun map, especially for Hardpoint. I think was my favorite mode in that map.
Hardpoint and Domination are my favorite. Even though the spawns were, as you said, were constantly flipping, but I think Domination was my favorite.
It definitely for that map, yeah. And at first when I saw like a snippet of it, I was like, "Ooh, this kind of giving me flashbacks to Modern Warfare's cave map," which just after like a week I hated it. Drove me up the wall.
And for like
team so dark and stuff, but this is much more open and more smaller and fast paced, which I like.
And that's another
flat map as well. Team the team deathmatch and was it kill confirmed, I think didn't really work on that map because everyone's just chilling with snipers, but like if you're constantly like on the go, like going from point to point, you can have a good time in that map.
And that's,
but if it's just
that's the thing about Miami as well, is that you know, you were talking about like obviously not running into people. Now that would be a lot different in Hardpoint or in Domination. You know, like I think it's the map is kind of a bit of a confusing one because you know, I think Corey will agree with me here. If you're playing Hardpoint, you know, they're not going to worry about spawns. You're not going to have to worry about that because everyone's going to be rushing on ability. You're definitely, or on point. You're definitely going to run into people on those game modes. But TDM, it just felt like you run around and you won't bump into anyone. You know, and sniped. yeah. But no, I mean that's like the maps seem pretty good. Like of course, like the looks and aesthetic is completely different between all the maps. Like if you take Miami, which is like this dark, you know, neon almost looking thing, and then compared to Satellite, which is this bright desert, you know, orangey color scheme compared to like dark and, as I said, neon. Like they're going for like a huge variation in colors and aesthetics here, and it's great. Like because
it's one thing Treyarch's always been just it's so good with, like, and is one of the complaints that like a lot of people had about Modern Warfare was it was so much greens and browns and blues,
like dulls and
fit the Modern Warfare aesthetic. That they were going for a real life Modern Warfare in today's world, and that's what you would imagine it to be, whereas this is like it's an 80s Cold War game, and it's just so much colors, which Treyarch have always been amazing at. So like whether the maps play good or not is a whole different thing, but they all look incredible. Like Moscow is one of my favorite maps because
that was my favorite map.
It probably was mine as well because I think it plays the best. Apart from that, I think it reminded me so much of Stadium from Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
Weird. I was thinking that too.
The thing about Moscow is
so much of it.
The thing about Moscow is you're saying that's your favorite map and you love it, but that's not even like one of the most visually appealing. Like that's a very grey map, but it's just it's built so well.
Perfect 6v6 like close quarters combat. Like
I think they've done that really well. Like I mean, while we're talking about like different maps and you know different variation between maps, a big change this year in Call of Duty is the kill streaks to score streaks. Now this is a bit of a controversy on the subreddit because it's, you know, the score streaks, as you know, is when you keep them through death instead of just, you know, racking up kills and getting streaks. So, you know, it does insensitize people to play the objective a lot more. And I found that myself. Like I have, say, you know, an airstrike or a helicopter on, and I'm rushing the objective and trying to play the objective more because I know the more I play this, I'm about to get my chopper gunner. You know, I'm a little bit away. I'm gonna rush B point and take it. You know, and like I don't know how to feel completely about it because, of course, in Modern Warfare you had the point man perk, you know, which was basically the similar thing. They consisted through death. But I don't know. Like, what do you think about this change now this year?
Well, first off, you're wrong about score streaks. Score streaks they don't carry over through death. In previous games that had score streaks, they don't carry over death. This is just a thing that COD or Treyarch themselves have just introduced this year. that when you die, you still have it. It's to it's like you said, it's to get people to actually, instead of camping, go and play an objective.
Yeah.
Oh, you die, that's fine. You still have your points, and you're still going towards your score streaks. That's why score is so high. Score streaks were first introduced in Black Ops 2.
I think it was Black
and
Ops
then
2.
Black Ops 2, it was hard. Like in score, how score streaks, how people probably would have liked it. People prefer score, by the way, over kills.
Yeah.
Because when you play, let's say Dom, okay, in Black Ops 2, one of the best things about playing Dom in Black Ops 2 was you have your score streaks. It's 750 to get a UAV, or no, it's 550 to get UAV. Okay, I'm gonna rush B flag. Why? I get 200 cap points for rushing B. But if I get a kill on B while I'm capping it, I get a capture kill, which gives you 200 more. So you get 400 points literally for getting one kill and doing the objective, which means you get one more kill, you're close to your UAV. Yeah. 2 kills and an objective, you're nearly close to your streaks. Okay, what's the downside to it? It's the same as kill streaks. As soon as you die, you have to go. Score is always a lot harder to get streaks because it's, you know, it's basically, think of it like it's based off kills as well. So 550 is basically 4 to 5 kills, which is what usually a UAV would be. You put hardline on, it's about 3. That's how they do it. This game, they have score very high, 6,000 score for a chopper gunner.
Yeah.
But the reason they do that is because, okay, we're not going to have a chopper gunner at 3,000 because, geez, you might all get a chopper gunner in one game. We're going to put it at the 6,000 cap because there is only going to be a set number of people in a game that are going to be able to reach 6,000 score.
Yeah, and those people
they're the people that are rushing, they're the people that are getting the kills, and they're the people that are doing most of the objective work. Or they could just be people sitting on satellite on a sand dune with a sniper and just picking people off. But I have to stress this: if you do not do any any objective work and you're just purely going for kills, so like people camping and doing that, it takes you 16 to 18 kills to nearly get a chopper gunner. So you have to literally be one hell of a good camper to get 16 to 18 kills before a game ends. Because if you have someone like me running around who does do objective and does be very, very aggressive, because one thing that Treyarch do with all their games is run and gun. If you run and gun, you will get results. So people giving out about this new system, I don't get it. It's literally 1 week. You've literally only played it for 3 days. 2.5 actually. Give it a time, because this system actually allows you, and this is where I think I find that why the alpha was very fun for me, where the fun factor comes in. What's the best part about playing multiplayer? Getting kills and getting streaks. Yeah. Getting kills off of streaks. Getting a chopper gunner and seeing your kills rise, that's the best part. Going into a map and going, I'm going to drop this, I'm going to drop that. I dropped a swarm with a ballista sniper before. That was the best game on Raid Black Ops 2 I've ever played. And the reason why is because I want to drop score streaks. Score streaks in Modern Warfare, they're fun, but they're not great.
No,
nothing on that game goes, I want that. I want to go into
they're more so like just things you get as you play the game. They're not really, you don't work towards them as much as you would in other games, you know?
Look, it's something new. I think it works in this game because it's a very slow game to get scoring as well. Like, they do also have that new kind of, the more kills you get, the longer you're alive, the more score you get per kill.
Headshot multiplier as well.
That incentivizes people to literally just go and get kills.
Yeah.
I've never been on more bloodthirsties in my entire life this weekend than I had in any of the previous COD. And it's not just to do with the fact that I want to just dominate. The guns felt good, but it's also, I want to get that chopper gunner. And that's the thing. Dogs are supposed to be in it as well. Dogs would be higher than a chopper gunner.
There's a rumor, but I hope so, because they were nasty in backup.
So the score system, I'm sorry, Reddit, I don't agree with people that are.
No. But it's one thing I was worried about, because after the multiplayer reveal and all the streamers and pros played it, I watched so many videos, and all of them, like Drifter and Tim and it's going to be even talked about, they all said one thing they were worried about was the score streak system, but they all said the same thing, that they didn't have enough time to just that it was worrying because how catering to bad players is it. But then someone I saw on Reddit the other day even did like like did the maths, and if someone was just getting a solid KD, so they were getting kill death, it would take 168 kills to get a chopper gunner. At which, if you're dying after every kill you get, you're not gonna get 168 kills in a game. So yeah, from even playing it myself, it definitely is not as easy as a lot of people thought it was gonna be, and I think it's so much better than Modern Warfare because I like kill streaks, but when you have kill streaks, you see what happens in Modern Warfare. Everyone is just camping with claymores behind doors because they are terrified of, I need these kills, and if I die, it's gone. Whereas this is, you can carry it through death, but unless you are going out into that fight, trying to cap the flag, trying to get on hardpoint, and go on a streak and get kills, like you have to be playing good all across the board to actually get score streaks. And then when you get them, from the few we had, they feel
they feel powerful.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna. I won't sit here and lie when I say, look, I'm above average when it comes to playing COD. Like I'm not even gonna toot my own horn. I play COD at a pretty decent level. Like I'm able to go and do stuff that other people can't. And when I say it's, as Adam was saying, like it is tough to get score streaks in this game. I went and we played a satellite. Now satellite, by the way, chopper gunner every day, every week. Oh, the spawns are so open, you get 4 or 5 kills.
That's ridiculous.
But there's a gameplay I went 38-2, 22 kill streak, and I only got a chopper gunner towards the end of the game. That just goes to show they know what they want to cap it at, as well as that. They know
not being heavily spammed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
they
the
have
cooldown
a cooldown for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be spammed all the time. I felt this week when I was playing that I didn't rage quit once to someone getting a chopper gunner on the other team because it was at the end of a game they were getting it. And I'd already had gotten my kills and played the match out the way I wanted it. None of this kind of Modern Warfare bullshit where you go to shoot the ship or you go on to the shipment and there's white phosphorus, there's fucking
chopper gunners,
there's AC-130s,
non-stop.
None of that.
Spy planes in the air.
It's spy planes were spammed a lot, but that's spy planes. You run Ghost, you're fine. Okay, artillery, very easy to get, 1750 I think it was. Good. There's only 3 strikes and you don't know where they're going to put it, so it doesn't matter. The napalm wasn't very strong. I think napalm needs to be a lot stronger, but again, it's a high score. So I felt like they're balancing casuals and comp very well in this multiplayer at the moment. For competitive people that like to play this game competitively, you're going to be out running, getting those kills. You're going to get your streaks. For casuals that will go on one game have that 15 kill streak, you're getting your streaks. So they're really catering towards casual and competitive, which is really good to see, because Modern Warfare catered way too much towards casual gameplay and not too much towards competitive players. And there is a lot of people that play COD competitively, be it play it competitively, or actually just get on and try and get as many, like pub stompers. Pub stomping feels like it's a thing this year again. I couldn't have said that in the past 2 or 3 games. Like, I'm expecting to see Alistair A put up a 50-0 kill gameplay first week of Black Ops cohort, because it's pub stomping is back. You're going to enjoy this game. That's one thing I will say. It's like it is an enjoyable game.
I definitely get that as well.
And the score streaks does make it a lot easier, but at the same time, it's a difficult challenge. It's a high risk, high reward. You push and get 6 kills and you die, fine. You're after pushing yourself so much up in terms of score. So, score streaks wise, I just don't understand what people are giving out. I think it was great. I think they all felt great, besides that patrol one. But look,
we won't talk about that.
Which one?
It's like an air patrol.
It was like an anti-air score streak. So like you call it in when someone else has a chopper gunner or attack chopper, and it would just shoot it out of the air basically. And I was like, I mean, it had its use, but it's like I'd rather choose something that I can maybe set fire to people with, like
or get killed with.
It's like I'd rather choose that.
I think like a very tactical score streak more than like anything else.
More ground war suited.
Exactly. We were talking about that earlier. Like it'd probably have its place more in ground war or combined arms or whatever it's called.
But even at that, even in ground war and even combined arms, we played Armada quite a bit. I played it with my brother and my cousins for quite a bit. And in the games that I played, I dropped chopper gunners. Most of the time I played Armada, I dropped it. And it's just because I like to really push and get onto their flag and kill them on their flag. But not a lot of them got chopper gunners.
Yeah.
And not a lot of them got kill streaks in general, like score streaks in general. So even for a ground war that's 12v12, it's still actually quite difficult to get kill streaks. Like, you'll get your spy planes and your artilleries, but artilleries and napalm don't work on them maps because, well, on Armada, because it's a ship. But the likes of chopper gunners and attack choppers, like, and even you have SAM turrets, so it's really, really...
Yeah,
it's strange because you don't see a lot of streaks, and SAM turrets, if you have them, you pop them down, you destroy 4 or 5 spy planes. It's a really weird one for streaks to share, but I feel like it's a good weird. It's a good balance instead of,
it's new, like
I said,
it's something different.
Being dropped bombs on when you're spawning up. So it's,
I'm happy with it.
No, definitely. Like, so I think, is there anything else anyone wants to add before we kind of wrap things up a little bit here? Any thoughts or anything haven't covered?
I mean, I would touch on skill-based matchmaking, but I don't think
let's not do that.
there's we don't know enough about it. No one knows enough about it because developers haven't come out and told us how intense it. We like. I know it's a big thing in the alpha right now, but look, we won't touch on that because it would be.
And either way, if there is skill-based matchmaking, it's not affecting me. So we're okay. Fortunately, I'm kind of. It doesn't, because like I said to Adam, I was like, it doesn't. How you get away from skill-based? Play one game, and then leave that lobby and play a different game. You know, I know you probably don't. No one wants to do that, but if you really don't want to deal with SBMM that much, play a lobby, leave that lobby, and join a new lobby, and just do that. So you're not up against the same people. So on and so forth. You're up against different people. But again, it's just too early to know. You know, a Treyarch dev came out and was like, it's been in every Treyarch game since Black Ops 2. So if you weren't complaining about it in Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3,
then why are you doing it now?
Why are you complaining about it now? Because you clearly didn't care back then.
That's the thing, people are saying it's more intense, but that's why I'm saying we shouldn't talk about it because we don't know that.
No, we just don't know enough, I suppose.
I mean, maybe in Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare definitely is, but in Treyarch games, we don't know how it's going to be this year, so there's no point in...
No point. All right, well, I guess then we'll just wrap it up unless anyone has anything else. Mal, do you have anything?
Want to give, I suppose, the maps a rating, the guns a rating, and an overall?
Yeah, I guess we'll just fly through that then. Like, I think we won't go through each gun individually. I mean, unless you want to say
I just mean in general, like guns.
Yeah, like how do you think the guns, like, okay, I'll go first because I have something planned out here. Like, so the Commando. But I seen that in the reveal trailer, right? That gun, that was, as I'm sure Adam will agree, I was excited to get my hands on that.
XM4, wasn't it?
XM4 it's called, sorry, yeah. But when I did, it just wasn't. It wasn't what I wanted.
That's what Corey said, but I'm in love. I shredded with that controller. When I can get on PC and I can control the recoil of that.
Maybe, well, look, maybe it'd be different because we're not all aim gods, right? But
I know some of us can't be blessed.
But no, look, the KUIG 6, I think it's called, the other assault rifle.
That's the Galil.
Yeah, that gun's deadly. I like that. So I think
I rolled that a lot.
Like, honestly, my rating for all the guns is like, I think they're all in a pretty good place. You know, I'm not going to go through each gun individually. I don't really have much complaints.
Just out of 10 for the overall.
Guy says that and then brings up Commando and Greek.
Look, I'll say
a lot of guns I didn't get to use. Like,
that's true. Yeah, I didn't use every single gun, but overall, I'm going to give them just a 7.5 out of 10. Just a first impression, 2 days, just from two days playing. Overall, the maps, I think. Overall, I do enjoy the map, so I'm going to give them an 8. I don't have any complaints or anything really. And I guess for the alpha altogether, like it's I don't have any complaints really. It's pretty fucking good. Like, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 altogether. That's my rating for the alpha as a whole. As a whole. Man, you can go next because I cut you off there a minute ago.
Oh, you're right. Nah, I give them as well. Probably a good solid 7.5 or an 8. Like,
is this now maps or guns?
Or maps, sorry.
Maps, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Except for that snowy one. What was that called again?
Crossroads,
yeah.
I'll give that maybe a 2.
Die Rise.
Guns wise, you know, the Galil and, you know, Commando, nasty.
Yeah.
They're the main 2 I was rocking for the whole of the alpha.
And what's the overall rating for all the guns?
Oh,
Oh, that's what you didn't use too
I
many.
only used
You had
two.
from what you had used.
From what I had, I'd give them a solid 9 from those two.
Yeah.
Fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah.
And
And
the-
overall,
And then overall the alpha.
For rating.
Overall alpha rating, a good 9.5.
Nice.
I enjoyed my
That's a-
experience. I think it's going to
I
be
would-
I think it's going to be a solid buy.
Yeah.
You know, Trek have really stepped their game up since BO4.
Four.
Yeah.
Because I think they themselves are probably on their last legs of the stunt they pulled from that game.
For me, maps, I give a 7 out of 10. I want to see more, but I did like them overall. Guns, I actually did use every single gun. I didn't use them all an even amount, but I did go out my way to use every single gun. And I give guns a 9 out of 10. I love all the guns in this. The ARs, SMG, snipers. So far, this is only a taste or an appetizer of all the guns in the game. I love them. I thought they were great, and the gunsmith made them even better. So 9 out of 10 there. Overall alpha, I give it a 7 or an 8. I give it an 8 for the alpha. There's definitely some things that they can change and improve, but you just have to wait for the beta.
Yeah, have to wait.
it's controversial. Like, I'm just gonna say it now. Maps for me 9.
Ow, didn't think it
I'm
would.
telling you why. I'm telling you why they're 9 out of 10.
Damn.
None of you touched on it. Well, actually, I think one of you touched on it. I think it might have been Mel. But every map that we played was 3 lanes.
Yeah.
Do you know how easy it is to play maps when they're 3 lanes? Boy, I felt like I was Zeus himself on Satellite this weekend. So good. I know what you're saying when you come to spawns, alphas, their spawns are fucked. That's fine. But in general, there's no map that I did not dislike besides Crossroads. But I played Mosh Pit so much that I'm literally taking it from them 3 maps. And if the rest of the multiplayer maps are kind of like those, man, we're launching with some very fun maps to play. So I give my maps a 9 because they were really fun. Never felt, much more joy than dominating Little Timmy's on Satellite.
Yeah.
Guns, as Adam, I used all of them. Well, I tried to use all of them. I used all the secondaries as much as I could, all the primaries. The KUIG was a standout gun for me, I think.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to the XM4, but it didn't pop up for me.
Is what it is.
Guns is a tough one, because some of them are changing for the beta.
That's
but from
true.
the alpha, I'll give them an 8.5. I thought every gun was pretty good. You could use every gun and still win gunfights, which is
True,
nothing that you
that's-
see
yeah.
in COD. Like, you'd never see that in COD. You go and play Modern Warfare, you run around using I don't know, what like, not an MP5. What's the other submachine guns to have in that game? Like an AUG. You're not winning
Oh,
gunfights
You don't
with
even
an AUG.
remember because the
Not the
was the only
Yeah,
The only one.
Type 821. I didn't
even
get to use that.
even the Mac 11 / Uzi. They were very good, very fun to use. Overall, 8.5 out of 10.
8.5.
As that, I won't put it as a 9 just because one more multiplayer map probably would have done it for me. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
just because Miami was one of those maps where it's kind of like a hit and miss.
Mm.
But Satellite and Moscow were pretty nail on. But I did enjoy Miami. Before anyone thinks I didn't enjoy it. But
And
it's
that's
had a 4.
relatively high praise
Yeah,
across the
overall.
For
Like,
an alpha, it is
yeah, that's
incredible.
credible. Like, that's between us all, we basically gave it between an 8 and 8.5 on average. Like, that's
Bro,
insane for an alpha.
I'm
like, you
about
have
to put
keep
my neck
stressing
on the
that.
line when I say this. This alpha build is 10 times better than Modern Warfare's current build.
Fact.
I would rather
Wow.
play
I
this
had more
alpha
fun on this
build
alpha than I had
for
on-
the next year than I would play Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that's
This game gave me something I have not ever felt since Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, and Modern Warfare 3, which is enjoyment.
yeah.
Enjoyment,
Nostalgia
man.
as
It's
well.
like- And I don't even care about nostalgia. Because you can talk about your Black Ops 1s and your Black Ops 2s and go, oh, how much I enjoy playing them, but you're never going to get back to playing those on a current generation, like console at good graphic. Wait until this game gets to PC. This game will be probably my #1 game of the year. I enjoyed it that much on console. I'm going to enjoy it so much more on PC. FOV, I'm not even going to get into it.
No.
Wait till the beta drops on PC, bro.
Right, okay.
Oh.
I guess we'll wrap it up then there, lads. Right,
I'll bump my overall up half a point because they let me look at the Zombies Blade screen on the main menu.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah.
And the little Richtofen as well on Miami.
Sure.
Was it
Oh,
Miami?
yeah,
Or no, he
the
was on
little-
Moscow, wasn't he?
The little,
Yeah.
the little
The
Matryoshka
doll,
dolls.
yeah.
Yeah.
That deserves a few extra points, yeah.
It's,
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there. Look, stay tuned for more Cold War videos, especially when the beta drops and the full release, and of course, the zombies as well. We're making lots of videos on zombies.
Oh, we
So-
have a good video cooking.
Right, so thanks for
Stay
watching.
tuned.
I hope you enjoyed,
everyone.
and see you next time.
GG's.
GG's.
Let me dominate you.